Well, the day has come to haul out the boat and do its pretty much yearly servicing of a few things. So today I'm going to take the boat from Raby Bay around to Redlands City Marina at 1:30, and they will haul it out for me, put it on the hard, and then the work starts for the week. Probably won't see Kim much this week. She's busy with some other real estate things. So some of the jobs I've got are, obviously I need to, they will high pressure water blast the hull when it comes out of the water, and then I'll need to sand that back and recoat with some new antifoul, and then clean up the sail drives and put some prop speed on those. I need to service the sail drives, which includes changing over the two anodes on the sail drive and the third anode, which is inside on the engine, but you can't do that while the boat's in the water. It'll let water in. What else do I need to do? Obviously a gear oil change for the sail drive, grease the nipples, and that's most of it. The other stuff I've got to do this week, I need to get someone to have a look at the port side fuel tanks. There's 2 tanks on either side, and I have found before that diesel somehow gets out of the tank and leaks around the outside, and I haven't been able to see where that's getting out. So I want some guys to have a look at that and fix that. I want to install some tank senders in the water tanks so that we don't just run the water all the time until it runs empty and then we change tanks. I'd rather be able to see how we're going on a screen for that. I've got the tank senders for that, but I find it difficult to actually install those into a fiberglass tank, which is just not rigid enough to get a really good seal on. So I just want some advice at least on the best way to do that. I want to attach a large cleat on the front deck near the windlass so that we can attach mooring buoy lines to that, and a front roller so that where the line goes over the front crossbeam, it's not chafing on other stuff that's up there. Oh, some stanchions on the side, on the port side, have cracked the welds around the bottom where it attaches to the boat, so I just need those re-welded. I would like to put some more bilge pumps into the hulls, particularly in the forward port and starboard sides. So that's pretty much what we want to do. I hope to be there no longer than a week. I think the most difficult job is going to be the fuel tank situation. Hopefully that's a relatively easy remedy. I'm just not terribly optimistic about that. But anyway, that's fine. We'll see when we get there. So I'm just about to get going, untie the lines, and we'll head over. Has just held on enough to be saved, hopefully. Still like the look of her. For an old boat, she still looks good. So here we are, Up on blocks. That was pretty stress-free. I did touch bottom a couple of times on the way in. Just slightly, I saw the depth go to 0, and I could just feel us on the bottom. But anyway, we got through that. We've come in. The state of the antifoul. Look, it's thin in places. There's still a bit of barnacles and things that I've got to sand off, but the prop speed, I don't have a lot of experience of how it should look, but it looks like it's completely gone. So I don't know whether that's the way it was applied, as in not well by whoever did it. This one's the same. Or whether it's supposed to... This one's actually a bit better. Anyway, got some cleaning to do here, get all these rusty marks off. But all up, certainly taking it out of the water wasn't a harrowing event. It was done very efficiently, and we've got a nice spot by the water. Well, here we are at the boat. It's next morning, and first job of the day is to drain the oil out of the sail drives and replace it with nice fresh stuff. So you'll see here I've opened the first one, and I'll do the second one in a moment, but underneath the sail drive is a screw you've got to undo, and all the oil just falls out. It falls out a lot easier if up in the engine bay you undo the oil cap so that it's got air to flow straight out rather than going glug 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 glug, and takes ages and is quite messy. But the oil looks to be quite good. There's no milkiness to it. It's nice and black. Pretty happy with that. Alright, so I have cracked it. So it's loose. Oh, that's Milky. That one is Milky. That's not great. The other one was much, much blacker than that. I don't like the look of that. Damn it. Alright. I have to get some advice about that. See what is going to happen there. God, it's just always something, isn't there? Far out. So that means, more than likely, that water is getting in there with the oil, which may well mean that one of the seals in the sail drive is leaking. For a sail drive that's 12 months old, not fucking happy with that. God, it just makes me feel sick in the stomach every time something like that shouldn't be happening for something that's so new happens. Sick in the stomach because it's going to cost a shitload more money to fix. Alright, so while that oil is draining and while I finish swearing off camera, I can try and take these anodes off. So these are sacrificial anodes. So not terribly corroded, but we'll change it out for the new one. There's a grease nipple at the end there that I will put some grease into as well for the internal mechanism here where the props spin like that, or feather. These are feathering props. These are auto stream feathering props where you get forward and reverse like that, and when you are underway they will feather when you put the gear throttle into reverse that way, so it flows straight through the water, reducing drag. Now there's also another sacrificial anode here which is like a collar, which will take a Allen key to try and undo. Simple, really. That's half of it. It is in two pieces, of course. Looks like a bit of marine growth on the inside there that's preventing that from coming out. Like that. That's how it looks. They fit together like that. Okay, well I don't think I'll put the anodes back on until I'm finished. I've got to grind all this old prop speed off, and that'll be a lot easier with the anodes off. Plus I don't know what the mechanic is going to want to do. He'll probably want to take the whole thing apart and redo the seals and bearings. I shudder at how much that's going to cost. That's boating. So it's time to grind the props and get all the old prop speed off it. So I've got to grind all this back to bare metal, make it look shiny again. I'm using an angle grinder with one of these scouring pads on it. That scouring pad, actually you've got to just touch it so lightly. I'm afraid I'm going to eat into the metal, but just done carefully. I've still got to get in amongst there with a wire brush and around these other points here that would be dangerous to do with an angle grinder. But all up, pretty happy with that. But just quickly, I've got the mechanic here to have a look at the sail drive on the starboard side because of the milky coloured oil that came out of the sail drive leg. So he'll be back in just a sec. All he's done now so far is just taken the prop off the end of the sail drive. Just going to get another tool in a moment, but that's it there. We're not into the seal yet, so we'll have more information soon.
Bear with me.
Fuck! I'll put that on my reel. Why do seals leak? Now we know. I never guess, you know, it seemed to just fall out when I pulled it out. I didn't have to cut it.
Yeah.
It just seemed to all come out, I thought. But obviously not. And is it that seal there that
There'll be
is now damaged?
Inner and outer.
One keeps the water out, one keeps the oil in.
Yep.
They'd both have to be damaged, I suppose, for the water to get in.
Yep.
So Timmy, our mechanic, has taken away the internal mechanism of the sail drive, and he's going to order some seals for us, and he might even be able to get them today and have it back in today, which would be awesome. So what we're left with now is a rag stuffed up our quoit. Props are just here under the rags, and the end bit of the sail drive just there. Probably not a job I would attempt myself, particularly because I won't be able to see exactly what he does, how he fits those seals and how he gets the old ones out and the new ones in. He's also going to polish up a bit of the inside, which has got a bit of a burr on it, all stuff that I can't do anyway. So I'm just pleased that he can get it done relatively quickly, so long as he can source those seals, and hopefully we'll be right to go again. But that'll be a load off my mind and probably off my wallet. Okay, so we're just refilling the oil in the sail drive. I have replaced the screw at the bottom of the sail drive leg, and now we're just going to try and get this in without spilling it with any luck. Right, so what's the latest drama? These things. Anodes for the sail drive. Should be a simple case of, these are sacrificial anodes made of zinc that are supposed to go in there. It's a split. There's two here, one there, one there, one for each sail drive. So look at this, they go together like that as a collar around there. Now I took out the old ones, and of course I've thrown them away, so we can't compare them, which is really unfortunate. But the new ones won't fit on, and they're rubbing badly against this. The previous owner of the boat told me, it was a while ago now, and he showed me even, that he ground down a part of the anodes to get them on. But I don't remember him grinding that whole edge around there to stop it from rubbing on this edge. It was more a case of just grinding it down in order to make them actually fit, otherwise they wouldn't fit on. So Tim, my current boat engine mechanic, is trying to work out how the hell we're going to do this. One option is, there's a fair bit of metal here doing nothing, a bit of a flange there, sorry, that in theory you could put it on the lathe and just take 2 millimeters off that to give enough clearance for that collar to go on, and they'd be right forever then, in theory. Whereas at the moment, the alternative option is to grind this down with a grinder every time you've got to change the anodes over, and it's a balance between, do you want to fix it once and then not have the problem again, or continually grind these down every time you have to do it. This is probably the cheaper option, because I can do it, but I also would like it fixed too. So Tim's just gone away to see if he can fit this on his lathe. I don't know what that's going to cost me yet, if that happens. But honestly, it's not supposed to be this hard. simplest thing, it should be, to just fit straight in there, and you can see just how close it is to fitting. There. 2 millimeters, possibly even less. Can you just tell us what the problem is and what you're going to do there?
Well, 2 mil or 3 mil.
Off this edge?
Off the back of the edge, this edge here.
Because that's the bit that's stopping that anode from going in that space.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. All right, no worries. So this is where we're going to fix up our sail drives into T-Tech Marine at Redland City Marina. Come in here and see Tim and Gary. See if we can machine this sail drive down to the right size. Excellent. So it's as easy as that, just whacking that into the lathe and just taking a couple of millimeters off, which is the piece that's rubbing on the anode as you try and put it in. Now that that's taken off, it'll have no material effect on how it works. It'll just provide enough space for that anode to slip in there without having to take the whole prop sail drive and prop off to get the anode on. So these guys from T-Tech, Tim's been really helpful. First of all, fitting me in to do this work because I know he's busy, but also to do this work as well and be really helpful. So highly recommended. He's been a great help, and hopefully that should solve our problem. We'll get some more footage of that being refitted shortly and make sure everything's good to go. While we're here at Redland City, walking down to T-Tech Marine, I have to walk past Stradbroke Yachts who are building the new Delos boat, which is, that's it in there, coming along. Moment of truth, mate. That. That's rubbing again now. Just.
Nowhere near as bad, but it does need to come off.
Yeah. Well, who would have thought that the first job that you attend to after hauling out would turn into such a saga? Well, I would, because that's boats, right? Anyway, really impressed with Tim from T-Tech Marine. He fixed that in very quick time. He got our anodes to be able to fit it without removing the props, and super happy with that. Thanks for watching. Stick around for next episode when we can start installing our water tank sensors and also fixing our diesel tank. See you then.